Hi everyone, this is Star to Earth. So in this reading, we will take a look at your blind spot. So a blind spot is something that you are not seeing, and the fact that you come to this reading means that you are now ready to see this blind spot. So let's dive into it. Here are 3 groups. This is group 1, group 2, group 3. So intuitively pick one and then go to the timestamps below for your reading. I'll see you there. Hi group 1. So if you pick this shell, here is your reading. Now we are going to pull one blind spot card and see what is the most important blind spot that you are ready to see right now. Okay, group 1. The blind spot card shows the sigil of fears. So your blind spot is that you are letting fear stop you from making a choice. The tarot cards here show that you are always expecting the worst case scenario. So what if I choose this and everything collapses? What if I choose this and it becomes, too much for me? What if I'm not capable enough for this responsibility that I chose? What if I get too stressed or too tired, or what if I give up at the end? So inherently you are avoiding something you love, avoiding the weight of your authentic choice because of the fears. The morning card, this is the 7 of Cups, okay? In reverse, it tells me that you feel like loss and failures are things that you cannot recover from. So what if they haunt you forever? That is your fear. So you have been avoiding these failures, or avoiding to be labeled as someone who, stupidly takes some risk and then failed. Okay, so from the surface, it actually looks like you smartly, wisely avoid potential risk because you have all the reasons. For example, if you have always loved an adventure across the Sahara Desert, but you decided that no, it is too risky. You stop yourself from going towards, you stop your interest in going towards exploring a bit more about how this adventure would look like. You stop yourself, and you have all the reasons. You could say, well, the Sahara Desert, it is too isolated. It's not populated enough. What if something happened to me? Where do I seek help? I could die. I could be bitten by a poisonous snake. There are tons and tons of reasons, and it sounds really logical, right? Similarly, like if you love someone, but you wait for them to confess for years, because of course there's a risk for rejection. Like I need to collect enough evidence that they also like me back. So I waited and waited and waited. So you might be waiting forever. Okay, these fears, they always sound logical, yes. But that these dreams, they stay in you. You are not really convincing yourself with these reasons. They are just excuses that you tell others, or you use them to stop yourself when these dreams, rise up. They have always been your deepest fantasy. Your passion is there, but you stop yourself from going after them. So this sigil is saying that you have put yourself in too much control of the situation. because of your fears. You want to carefully curate every step of your life, avoiding failures, avoiding risks. But do you think that it is worth it? You are being reminded that life is temporary. There is an end date for all of us. So what sounds better to you? A safe life or a passionate life? You have been avoiding risks to the extent where you also sabotage the potential good things that can happen to you. Because when you close your doors and stay indoors for the safety, you also reject good things to be delivered to you, right? So now we are going to pull some advice for you. So how do you go about this blind spot then? How do you, now that you see this blind spot, what should you do? Let's see. That's the Knight of Cups. That is the Hanging Ghost, which is the Hangman card. Ace of Coins. And we have 9 of Coins at the bottom of the deck. I think the cards are saying it is, you are a cautious person. And this is fine. It is good to be a cautious person, right? There are benefits to that. But when you sit on potentials and wait, you need to know that opportunities, they do not fall onto your lap. If you just sit, they will not fall onto your lap. And this is why in many different aspects of your life, you might find that things are stuck, they are hanging, nothing is happening. Okay, that the momentum is what you need. The momentum is what brings things happen, and the momentum is from you. If you find that things are hanging, it's because you are sitting on the potential. And the 9 of Coins here tells me that you have enough resources in your life. You are abundant enough. In other words, you have a safety net to catch you if you took a risk and you fall. Okay, your safety net is there. It could be, people who support you. It could be financial security. It could be the skills you have. It could be who you are as a person. So you have enough resources within you or around you to always bounce back, which means you have the insurance already to take risk. Okay, so with that insurance, you can actually, so knowing that, it should give you some confidence to not just sit. Okay? This Ace of Coins, you can see that this man, his expression is like he found a coin. He's like, oh, look, a coin. And he has his luggage. In the olden times, like this is like a piece of cloth where you put together all your stuff, your food on the road, and then some some books to read, and then a map or things like that, so or some spare clothing. If you take this risk, it doesn't have to be a big risk, okay? If you just let go of controlling and let life find you, you will be surprised. There are gold, treasure, diamonds, gems everywhere. Of course, if you sit at home, you will not find them. You need to go on the move, go out, create some movements. And I feel like this movement that I'm talking about, they are not things like, go for a run, go for a jog. They are things that need a little bit of planning, and they are bigger. For example, a road trip, or start a small business, or move to a different place. These are things that require some planning, and they have been on your mind since forever. And you're putting them off because of the fears. So plan for them, and remember that you have the safety net, and you will find a goal. You'll be surprised, Good things coming. All right. Okay, thank you, Group 1. If this reading resonates with you, please let me know by clicking like, subscribing, or leaving a comment below. You can also find me on Instagram for more free readings. For a personal reading, go to my website. The link is below, and you can book a reading there. I'll see you again, Group 1. Goodbye. Hi, Group 2. If this is the crystal you pick, this is your reading. So we will start with a blind spot deck. We want to get a blind spot card for you first. We'll start with that. Group 2. Group 2, your blind spot card sigil is isolation. So this card is saying that your blind spot is that you are alone in this situation. You are alone. You feel like you have to be alone in many different circumstances. And you are telling yourself that you have to face things alone. You have a lot to learn. You need to be more independent, and that other people will not understand what you are going through, and other people will not be able to help you, or even worse, other people will only hurt you, and you feel like your future all depends on you alone, and you have to figure the path out all on your own. So I feel like you do find this idea, like living with this idea is very lonely and isolated, and you do hope for things to eventually change. Like you do hope to have connections, friends, people who are more supportive, but then you have this firm idea that actually either you do not deserve it, or that it is not safe. So your blind spot regarding this always pulls you back to this always pulls you back to asking you to face things alone, to, not share too much about yourself and not seek help from others, things like that. So the thing is, you see connections or you see connections as something that is very temporary. You feel like people can change, and we cannot put our expectations on them. We cannot rely on them. And having perfect, supportive friends or partner is, it's not possible. It's too idealistic, because at the end of the day, everyone is selfish, and so we can only rely on ourselves. Okay, this is what you're telling yourself. So the truth is, regardless of what life experience has told you in the past, this is a blind spot. Your isolation is a blind spot, because a human is a social species. Okay, if you look closely, you will know that we cannot live without each other. Even if you live alone, your groceries come from farmers, truck drivers, sellers in the market. We thrive as a community, as human. Okay, and the Four of Vessels here show me that you are actually, you can see the water flowing around her, but she's not looking at them. Okay, there are people around you who are ready to build a connection or a deeper connection with you, people who want to pour energy to you, but you are not really seeing them because of your firm belief that you are alone, right? So, and this is also partly due to your insecurities. There are fears that you're perceiving about being in a connection. Like I said just now, you feel like people change, right? But the truth is that you are loved and is worthy of love, worthy to receive love. Another truth is that you do not need to be harsh towards yourself, as all of us are hurt by connections one way or another. So I'm sure many people share these fears and these blind spots, okay? Majority of the people in the world share this wound in them, that we have been hurt by connections, of course. So you are not someone who failed this. You're not like a failed student who need to do a lot of work alone until you can deserve connections. No, this is not the case. We are all messy in our own ways, and having connections is what support us through all these messy moments. So you are not someone who you're not someone who has a lot to learn and need to, do a lot of work on yourself, or else, you have to reject all connections and then go do work on yourself until you learn what is connection. No, it's not that way. You do deserve people around you. Okay, so now I'm going to pull some advice. Now you know that this is a blind spot, right? What can we do about it? Can we have one main advice as to how can we help group 2 to work on this? You get the Tower, the Seven of Cups, Knight of Cups, Three of Swords. Okay, so what you need to know is that what you can do is to connect with the part of you who is craving for connections. There's a part of you who feel this loneliness intensely. There's a part of you that really wants to open your heart to other people, who wants to enjoy connections, who want to hang out with friends, who want to just be just share about all that you feel to someone. You know, there's a part of you that really really wants connection, and it is important that you get close to that part. Why? Because I think majority of your aspects, like in general, you have been asking that part to, you know, shut up. You are telling that part that no, we don't ask for connections, we don't hope for connections. Like you're trying to shut it down, you're trying to ignore it, putting it aside. You can think of it like a child who is crying for attention, or who is crying because she misses her friend, for example, and you are the parent who says no, we don't need friends. What is the point of missing your friend? Your friend is not a good friend. We just stay home alone. We don't need friends. So that dynamic is happening within you, and it is important that being that parent within you, it's important that you stay with the child enough to understand that that child is lonely, understand the need of that child, because you do have these needs. You even dream of connections, happy connections. So it is a need in you, and you cannot silence a need. You cannot silence a need. And going back to what I said just now, there are people waiting to connect to you. So if you look into this need and be open to this need, be open to have this need being met, you will be able to get to the connections that you dream of. Of course, it is not going to be perfect, ideal forever. But then you will meet people who are genuine, who also wants connection, who appreciates you. Okay? So the key message is that you do not want, the key message is that you do not have to go through anything that you are going through on your own. No, it's not a have to. It is a choice that you can change. Okay, group 2. That is all I have for you. So if this reading resonates with you, please let me know by clicking like, subscribing, or leaving a comment below. And you can find me on Instagram for more free readings. For a personal reading, you can book it through my website below. Okay, I'll see you in the next reading. Bye-bye. Hi, group 3. So this is the crystal you pick. Now we will start with blind spot card. So what is the blind spot that you are ready to be aware of? Group 3. The blind spot card sigil you got is the comfort zone. So what you are not seeing is that you have been making decisions out of your inclination to stay within what you are familiar with. So you have projected fears into what is outside of this comfort zone. You are being very careful, right? Like always checking, making sure that you stay inside this circle that you have drawn for yourself. Of course, what is inside a circle is great. So your comfort zone right now is convenient for you. It feels good for you, okay? You want things to be in control because new experiences carry the unknown, and you're not optimistic towards the unknown. So this is applicable in many aspects in your life, could apply to many different aspects in your life. And for example, you stay within the same group of friends and you're not interested in making any other new connections, or seeing the possibility that some old friends actually have not been in alignment with you for some time, or that you could be resisting new voices, new ideas, anything that could show you new ways of doing things. Or you could be going towards a goal with the same old way, trusting that what you have known is the only way. For example, say you are a programmer who is really used to one programming language, and one day your colleague, a young colleague, came and introduced to you there's this new programming language that can precisely help our work in a way more efficient and more simplistic manner. When you hear things like that, you immediately feel like, oh, this is unknown. We don't know whether this is true or not. So instead of looking into the new language, you decided that no, we stick to the walk path. The walk path is the best path, even if it's proven that it takes more time. So there's a bit of this typical stubborn old man energy here, to be honest. It doesn't matter whether you are old or you are a man, okay? It's this rigidity that we're talking about. So in a way, you build a barrier between yourself and this energy of newness, okay? And the actual reason you do this is that you want to avoid pain. You equate newness and unknown as something scary, something that likely bring a lot of disappointment. Of course, this could be very much linked to past experience, past trauma. So you tell yourself, oh, no, we don't get our hopes up. There's nowhere, better than here. Okay, we don't need to aspire for more and do more or venture outwards. There's no point. And as time passes by, you eventually reject everything that could bring you discomfort, even if they hold a lot of positive potential. So the issue here is that there are moments where breakthroughs are needed. There are moments where, in order to achieve something transformational, in order to, for example, go up a level, there's a need to move past the comfort zone, right? Like when you play games, before you go up to a different huge level, there's always a difficult task that you need to pass, right? So it's the same concept. And you know that this is precisely where you are right now. You know that you have been avoiding this unknown, this venturing out, and that your comfort zone is starting to prison you in, okay? Which is why this blind spot comes up now. So now I want to pull some advice for you. Okay, now that we know that this is the blind spot, what can we do? Okay, what's the advice we need to hear? Advice One more. Okay, this Knight of Cups have been coming out like 3 times in all 3 groups. Okay. Okay, the advice here is to first see that the situation you are in right now, the energy that you have dealt with or you have been dealing with has come to an end now. Actually, we can always sense when the ending is near, right? Like when we know that, okay, this job is no longer giving me satisfaction. I can feel that, all circumstances are actually pushing me, hinting me towards changing, right? That's what I meant by, seeing the energy of end right there, seeing that, if you zoom out, you would see that, oh, you are already at the ending of this chapter. Okay, this is something that we can sense. Okay, we don't need to be told actually. So first see that right now what you can do within this comfort zone is done. You have completed this stage and you are very ready to go to the next stage. So prep yourself with that information, right? And then secondly, see that see how your thoughts are telling you that you should stay, which means identify those fearful thoughts, like any thoughts that tell you like, no, don't take that risk, we should focus on the long run, we have a good foundation here, there's no point changing, blah blah blah, like all these fearful thoughts, identify them. That's what the 8 of Swords is saying. Okay, again, the 8 of Swords is talking about being prisoned by your own mind, okay, by your fearful mind. So first see the ending, see that you are, the ending is the reality, but you are the one who is not ready to shift to the next step. Okay, first recognize that that is the reality. Okay, and I want to clarify this Knight of Cups. Once you recognize those things that I mentioned just now, actually opportunities will come in. They will knock on your door. You don't really need to do something big for those new opportunities to come in. It's actually a shift of energy. Like once you adjust your mindset and go like, okay, I'm actually tired of my comfort zone, and out of sudden you will get invitation to enter to the zone that you're not comfortable about. Okay, the uncomfortable zone. You'll be invited actually, and those invitation will you will be able to see how those are linked to your dreams, your aspirations. So it's, for example, if we go back to the job example, right? Like probably you don't even need to apply for a new job. Once you shift your mindset and go like, okay, actually this company is like it's too restrictive, like it has become my comfort zone, I want something different. And then you get a message from an old colleague telling you about new opportunity somewhere else, or you get contacted by a headhunter, for example. Okay, invitations will come in. And take those as a sign that you are ready to take a leap into the unknown. Okay, group 3, this is all I have for you. If this reading resonates with you, please let me know by clicking like, subscribe, or leaving a comment below. You can also find me on Instagram for more free readings. And for a personal reading, you can book via my website below. Okay, I'll see you again in the next reading. Bye bye.